So I think what we could do is just open it up to the floor. If you guys have any questions that you want us to get started on, whether it's Star Trek related, whether it just has to do with sci-fi or acting or producing or anything that you've seen there, or if you just want to hear fun rumors about our favorite actors that we've worked with or something like that, or maybe not so fun ones, maybe embarrassing
Some of
ones.
the dirt that we know.
I got a lot of dirt on Rico.
Dirt. We'll talk.
Give us a blooper reel.
More than that. Yeah.
Outtakes.
Yeah.
Anything? The trailers that you saw, Renegades, as well as Fifth Passenger and Assassin's Apprentice, they're great examples of where indie sci-fi can go, and the people that we were able to have the great opportunity to work with, and just the willingness to want to continue the things that they are known for, and to work with so many great up-and-coming producers, directors, actors, who are trying to dip their bill into this whole world as well. So it's a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, I could tell you a little bit about those projects very quickly. The first one you saw is Renegades, and it's got about 12 or 13 former Star Trek actors. For those of you who like the original series, we've got Nichelle Nichols, who was Uhura, and Walter Koenig, who was Chekhov. And we've got just a slew of others like Tim Russ, Robert Beltran, Terry Farrell, and so on. Gary Graham, one of my favorites. And he's not one of my favorites. I'm just kidding. We love Aaron, and I'm hoping he's watching this video. So.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. he played Nog on Deep Space Nine, if any of you have seen that. Really cool, lots of fun. We've worked with him a few times. And Rico was in the first pilot episode of Renegades a few years ago. That's where he and I met. That one just even had more science fiction people like Sean Young from Dune, Edward Furlong from Terminator.
Incredible who's who of people from all sorts of.
Rico Anderson was in it.
Yeah,
people were shocked.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was like a sleep train commercial or something like that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you blink, you miss it.
He does a lot of commercials.
Yeah.
It's really good. He looks great on commercials. It's true.
Just commercials. Anything else?
Yeah, that's what I took out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, he looks great. So Renegades is about to release our premiere on July 12th. I'm co-producing on that, so I will be there.
Yes.
Rico will be there.
I will be there.
And that will be in North Hollywood, California, with all of the actors and crew and stuff like that. Should be a good time. It's going to be really hot, though, so if you go, or any of you guys go, don't wear like a suit and tie. Just go. However you feel comfortable, yeah.
There's no meeting.
Secondarily, the next one you saw was Fifth Passenger. I also co-produced that one. It's a sci-fi thriller, kind of like Ridley Scott's Alien or Moon more recently. That was a really cool project to come on to. We've got Tim Russ, Marina Sirtis, who was Counselor Troy in Next Generation, Armin Shimmerman, who was Quark in Deep Space Nine, my best pal in the world, sorry Rico, you know you're seventh, is Doug Jones was also in it.
I'm working my way up.
And he's also Saru in the new series that's coming up. So I do remember telling him, if I could sidetrack for a moment, I said, look, I know you have your fans, because he's in every Guillermo del Toro movie. Like the dude said, he was in Silver Surfer, he was in Pan's Labyrinth, he was in, I can't even remember all the things. Hellboy, he was Abe Sapien. Hocus Pocus, that was the one I was like, was it Freaky Friday? What was that one called? Anyway, just everything.
Always in prosthetics in some form.
And I did tell him, I said, look, I know that you think you've got your fans and you've got the people that obsess over you, but you haven't seen anything until now, once you see what's going to happen to you when people find out you're cast in Star Trek. And he definitely contacted me. He's like, you're right, they're rabid. They're just like monsters in a good way and a bad way.
What's
so,
the Trekkies documentary?
I should show him that, yeah. It'll frighten him. Anyway, so Fifth Passenger is just about completed. It's really cool. Rico also acts in that one. You were a captain in it.
Yes.
Tell us about your experience in Fifth Passenger, please, Rico.
My experience in Fifth Passenger was quite the experience. I worked on the last day.
And so anyway.
Hey, I get 30 seconds here. So I'm going to take 2 minutes. I worked on the last day. I got a lot of food left over. I got a lot of food, a lot of bread. It was a lot of fun. I got a chance to hang out with some folks that I had worked with previously. I got a chance to hang out with Doug Jones, got to know him a little bit better. Hana Hate, who was also in Deep Space Nine, she was there for the last day. So I got a chance to really just kind of hang out, of course, act later on, and it was great.
Hana Hate was Molly O'Brien.
Yes.
In Deep Space. The little girl, she's all grown up now. She's adorable. Anyway.
And that was basically it. It was shot on the what was the set that it was
Space
shot
Command
on?
Studios.
Yes.
In Pico Rivera, California.
Yes. So
It's a great time.
it's it's always great to be able to work with people over and over again. Again, you're in the sci-fi communities, and so it's a very small community. So being able to see people out and about at conventions and functions, and definitely working with them is always an awesome experience. So I always have a great time whenever I work in these projects. Yeah. We did another one as well.
Who's that?
We did Assassin's Apprentice.
Okay, yeah, that was the one you just saw. There was like a little teaser for it with Tara Page. She's a stunt woman, so it's like a kind of an action thriller. She's a stunt lady. She's incredible. It's her birthday, by the way, so happy birthday, Tara Page.
Happy birthday.
No, she's not, but I sent her a birthday text, so everything's okay. Also, Rico Anderson acts in that. He gets to play the big bad guy, the crime boss.
I play a lot of bad guys. I played a bad guy in Renegades. I played a bad guy in
Oh.
a black bad guy. And I'm a voiceover artist.
You feel like you're typecast yet?
No, yeah. And yeah.
We also had Bob Picardo, the illustrious Bob Picardo of Terminator fame. Sorry, Total Recall.
The doctor from Voyager.
Yeah, I just like saying he's from Total Recall because he was Johnny Cab.
Johnny Cab.
Yeah.
He was also in the Wonder Years, but yeah, he's the doctor on Voyager is what most people really know him as. He's fantastic.
Stargate Atlantis too.
That's right. Yeah. Good knowledge. So that's going to be a while, probably a few more months. We're in post-production now. We shot it. I'm not going to say whether or not Rico dies, but he's the bad guy. So we might do some sequels.
It's sci-fi, so who knows, and sci-fi, who really died?
And I didn't act in that one, I just produced that one, whereas Fifth Passenger I got to co-produce and act, which is always fun,
And this marks how many projects have we worked on together?
Too many?
Well, yeah, besides that's obvious.
I don't know, I would say like maybe 6.
About 6, yeah. So.
What was your experience like on the Assassin's Apprentice, shooting up in the North Hills of the San Fernando Valley?
Well, it was mostly in the basement where we shot it, so, it was,
I was trying to paint a picture here.
Studio life in the basement. That was cool. It was quick. It was a long day, but it seemed very quick. It seemed quicker for some reason this time around. Sometimes, as much as I love to be in prosthetic makeup and stuff like that, it was nice to just throw on a suit and just be a badass that way. So. How about you?
Marina Sirtis was also in that one because she's really sassy and we love her.
You work more days than we've been on.
Yeah, well, as a producer, I was there every day.
Right. So, 2 days.
Yeah, we'll tell you.
Three.
We'll tell you about Marina Sirtis, by the way. It's really cool that in The Next Generation, she plays Counselor Troy, where she's sweet and she senses that you're angry and that kind of stuff. but in real life, she's actually very sassy, and she dresses like a
A bit
sailor.
of pop.
It's awesome. It's such a dichotomy to see like what you thought she was and what she really is.
She's very straightforward. She'll tell you.
Yeah,
Tell you like it is. So. But in a nice way. She's,
not that nice.
maybe not to you. That's
She
great.
calls me Frenchie.
Frenchie?
She threatened to hit me once when, I don't remember what it was, but I said something to her, and then she got upset, and I said, I sense you're angry. Yeah, she reacted.
She brought it back.
Mhm.
She brought it back.
You're damn right I'm angry, Frenchie.
Then she hit him.
She threatened to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's open up to the rest of you guys out here. Yes, you in the back?
What do you do as a role of a producer? Like, what does a producer do on a daily basis?
You know, before I started producing, I had no idea either. I really didn't know. And really,
You still don't.
no, I don't. I think it's just a guy that walks around with his nose up in the air.
You
No,
do it well. You
if
do it so well.
If you think about a
Well said.
movie as just a regular company, the producer's like the CEO of a company. They're the ones that start from the beginning with nothing, and they buy a script, they hire a director, they cast the actors, they get the set, they get the funding, the money. That's, I mean, really, 99% of the job of a producer, it seems, is just getting the money, because anybody can produce anything, but if you don't have the money to do it, it's not going to happen. So what they do is, and then that's why, really the coolest thing about being a producer, for me personally, is that I get to work with my friends, because I'm the one that gets to hire them. And so, you know, it's no wonder why he and I work so much, is because we get along great, and he's actually a really good actor. It's not his personality that's getting him hired. He's really good, and so I like, you know, anytime we have a role for him, he makes us look good. But that's what a producer does. They're just kind of like the person at the time. I mean, there are usually a few. You need a few, because there's a lot to do. And then so that's throughout all of development and pre-production. Then once you're actually shooting, they usually, then that's when the director takes over on set, and they shoot their vision. And meanwhile, the producers continue to work behind the scenes, you know, like paying for stuff, and, you know, coordinating things. And there's just a whole production behind the scenes that's going on that people don't see or people don't think about, because it's kind of boring. For me, the most fun is the first part, which is developing the script, hiring the actors, bringing on the crew that you like. Like Scott Baker, for example, he was the director of Fifth Passenger. But by trade, he's also a steady camera operator. And he's just one of the coolest guys on set. He does great work. You know, steady cam is when you walk around with the camera, but he also handles a camera, and he can also be a director of photography. And so someone like that, there are a few people that I have on all of my sets, almost at all times, because they're just, when they're good, it's just one less thing that you have to worry about. You know, if you're hiring, you know, 50, 80, 200 people, the more amount of time that you can not spend thinking about who to bring on it, the better, you know. And if you know this guy's great, this girl's great, this guy's great, you know, you can just knock that out, and so you have a certain rotation that you always bring back.
Less stress is best because of all the hats that you wear.
Rico Anderson, ladies and gentlemen.
Put that on a
I'm writing
bumper
that down.
sticker. Less stress is best.
Yeah, I like it.
Best.
So I hope that answers the question. I mean, we also just kind of see, but the good news about the producer is it kind of sounds like, boy, you do a lot of work and spend a lot of money. What's in it for you? Well, at the end of the day, the producers are the people that own the project. They're the ones that own, you know. So in other words, there's really nothing in it for us, but hopefully at some point when the movie gets sold or when the show gets picked up, then they are the ones that share in the profit. If that makes sense. Yes, you in the back.
What about an executive producer? I mean, how do you differentiate that role?
You know, executive producer, now we're going to get to the boring part. Thank you, Sam. Is an executive producer generally is different between TV and film in that in film, an executive producer tends to be more of the money guy. You know, the people that you bring on to finance the film. You know, and they don't really do much in the day-to-day activities. Whereas an executive producer in TV tends to be like the writers, tends to be the people that have their hands in all of the pots. So that's kind of the difference, but it's very vague. It's just a title, and the title doesn't necessarily dictate what your actual role is in the film. It varies from production to production, and you kind of find out what they need from you or what you need from them, and you go from there, and then they just kind of slap a title on it, and you go from there.
Promotion, there's sort of a value to that title that
Yeah, sometimes an executive producer can have very little value because maybe they just came in and threw money down, you know. And then sometimes, like on a TV show, they're the person that's running the show. You know, they're like the J.J. Abrams of Lost or something like that, if that makes sense. What do you think?
Lens flare alert.
Yeah, we know him.
I personally like the lens flares. I didn't have an issue with it. I didn't have an issue with it.
Oh, they're dazzling.
I like it. I didn't have an issue. You said it on tape.
He took a picture with lens flaring it last night.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it wasn't intentional.
It looked good.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I like it. So.
Pose for a picture.
Whoa, hello.
Oh, posing. Wait, it's supposed to be candid.
Do you have a
You're supposed to
question?
act like you're not.
What was it like with Renegades, going from Star Trek Renegades to Renegades?
Ah.
That was an interesting transition.
Well, for those of you that don't know, there was a Star Trek Renegades before there was a Renegades.
Right.
And then there were these guidelines that were dropped by CBS, which made Rico livid. And
Well,
no, it's totally within their rights. I had no problem with it at all. And so the only problem with it was the timing, was that happened on the second day of filming. So we had already shot a Star Trek movie. We had already begun shooting, you know, with the communicators, with the Vulcan ears, with Tuvok, called Tuvok, and with Nichelle Nichols playing Uhura. So, you know, we just kind of had to change it up a bit to where, you know, we had to go back in post-production and actually digitally remove Tuvok's ears because we already shot him and we couldn't reshoot everything all over again.
also you only had Nichelle on set for one day.
Yeah, that
You only had
first
a
day.
schedule.
That first day, yeah.
So she was out. She was gone.
And we also had to take off like the communicators, and we had to go in post-production and do what's called ADR, which is when you go in and you kind of do voiceover to yourself, like it does
Voice match.
Yeah. And you know, when somebody's saying Federation, like when she says Federation, she had to come back and say Confederation. You know, just kind of change things up. So the timing was very poor. But we were pretty fortunate in that the story wasn't reliant on it being Star Trek. It was a story within the Star Trek universe, but if you take it out of the Star Trek universe, it's still the same story. It's still a sci-fi story. It's not, you know, it wasn't like, for example, there are other, you know, independent sci-fi things where they're just taking over from an existing crew, and they would just not be able to do it. That would just be impossible to do. Whereas for us, it's a completely made-up crew in that universe. So.
Well, what was cool is there, you know, if you know your Star Trek, there are still little bits of elements that if you listen, you'll be able to kind of connect certain dots.
Like Walter Koenig still has the Russian accent.
Right, right. And
So-
yeah, you
Oh,
guys,
Admiral now?
Yeah.
yeah, the Admiral, and also even in the trailer, I don't know if you guys were able to hear it, but right at the end of the trailer, he looks right at the camera and goes, "Where's Scotty when you need him?"
Yeah.
Well, that could be any Scotty, but
But we know.
Come on,
There's
people.
a wink there.
Yeah.
We know.
come on, that's a wink and a nod if you ever know. So yeah,
What was your experience on Renegades?
which one? You're talking about the pilot? 'Cause
No,
that's the only experience I remember.
Yeah, sadly Rico wasn't in the newer one that's about to release soon, but I'm sure he'll be in the next one because we like him and he's good. He's a good actor.
Yeah, I do all right. Being in the Renegades family in general is a lot of fun.
He did help us with marketing as well.
Speaking of, what about Runaway? That's another little
Runaway.
sci-fi flick you were in, right?
Created by Tommy Kraft, who
Also did.
Star Trek Horizon, that both Ryan and I were in as well. That was really cool. Got a chance to fly to Michigan, and
Got to fly.
I got to fly. Got to fly to Michigan. Played with a lot of mosquitoes. Got bit a lot. But no, it was a sci-fi short that takes place in the future. Very reminiscent of escaped slaves, but in this case they were androids who were escaping the oppression of the people who owned them. And my character was a bounty hunter who is tasked to find them and capture them or kill them. And it deals with some of the conflict that I'm having over the other guy who is my bounty hunter partner, who is more of the more bigoted, racist type person. Doesn't give a damn about these things.
Sounds like a jerk.
He's a a-hole. And so, so it was a 20-minute film. I played a character named Rensler, and it was great working with Tommy in person, as opposed to when we did Horizon, where we were working with Tommy, but Tommy was still way off in Michigan, and we actually shot our scenes in sunny San Diego.
Yeah.
So
Green screen.
yeah, but
I was a Romulan and he was a Vulcan.
Vulcan.
That was a good time.
That was fun. It's available on YouTube if you guys want to check it out. No, you do want to check it out. Definitely check it out.
I remember explosions behind you.
In Horizon? Yeah, I played the bad guy in Horizon, so I might be dead too. But you didn't see me die, so I think I'm probably still alive.
And I did play a bad guy, which is I wasn't a bad dude. I had a scar.
Yeah.
I was a Vulcan with a scar. So there's a story that may or may never get told if there's ever any level of secret to it. But YouTube, Star Trek Horizon on YouTube, Star Trek Renegades on YouTube, Runaway on YouTube, all free to watch. Enjoy it. Great sci-fi. Incredible sci-fi. New sci-fi. I love it. Any other questions? Any observations? Any gripes?
Tell us about getting beat up by Kirk.
Huh?
Oh, okay.
What was
So, getting beat up by Kirk,
Oh.
right? Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a show called Star Trek Continues as well, for those of you that may know that. I got to act in a couple of those episodes. And the second one I was a Tellarite, which was a lot of fun because just full-on prosthetics. I also don't feel like I'm necessarily the body type to be a Tellarite, but it worked out well. It was a lot of fun. But the next one was an episode where I got to play a red shirt in the Mirror Universe. You know, when they do the Mirror Universe stuff, and it was really a good episode. And it was kind of cool because I got to be Kirk food by Kirk, you know, like he did the old punch and karate chop to me, and played by Vic Mignogna, and we know him, cool guy, great team, really a cool crew. They shoot out in Georgia, where they used to. They're coming to an end now. It was cool because, you know, afterwards I was like, okay, I was a red shirt, I didn't die, but I got beat up by Kirk. Okay, that's a good day, you know. It's a fun time.
Makes the trip worthwhile.
Yeah. So that's how I felt about it. I really liked that crew. I really liked that team. Flying out to Georgia, it's not, especially it's like Kingsland, Georgia, and there's not a ton going on there. So that was kind of weak, but at least the group has that family feel where we all hang out afterwards, and we, you know, very tightly knit group, and it's sad to come to an end. But we're actually, a bunch of us are actually working on a new project coming up soon with Vic Mignogna and Michelle and Lisa Hansel, who's the VFX person, the special effects makeup person, does all the aliens and stuff, and Michael Forrest, who played Adonis in the original series. That's one other person. Kipley Brown, who was in a couple episodes of Enterprise. So stay tuned for that. It's called When the Train Stops.
One thing about Lisa Hansel.
Give us two things.
I was going to give them 3 actually.
All right.
She's a wonderful makeup artist. If you have seen Star Trek Renegades, she did the prosthetics for Star Trek Renegades, as well as the prosthetics for Horizon. So she vulcanized
And Star Trek continues.
Romulanized us for that. Star Trek continues as well. Just an amazing makeup artist. So you were in for a treat in terms of.
She specializes in making aliens, so we like her. And her husband, Tim Vidito, is the guy that creates those prosthetics. So they're like a great team because he's like the prosthetic maker. And what does she do? Talk a lot? I guess that's what she does.
Yeah, basically.
But she's cool. Yeah.
A little slap of the dab on the face.
Face Off.
Final words.
Yeah. We did actually have somebody from Face Off working on Star Trek Renegades. And also one from on Space Command. if I remember correctly.
So, Star Trek continues has Scotty's son, right?
Yeah, Chris Doohan, who is actually Jimmy Doohan's son. So you have Scotty's son reprising his dad's role. Really cool. We actually had a fun June birthday thing with like Star Trek Continues people. There were like 4 or 5 of us who had June birthdays. Kind of felt bad because he got me a gift and I didn't get him anything. Sorry, Chris. I didn't know that we were exchanging gifts. I thought we were just having dinner.
I didn't get you anything for your birthday.
I know, I remember.
That's what you're Good?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, so because last time you were like, when I come in, I'm going to have a sign.
I'll hold
That's
this.
fine. Okay.
Yeah, also there's Grant Imahara from Mythbusters, who's on Star Trek Continues. He's really a lot of fun. He's really cool. I don't remember who else on there. I mean, they had Lou Ferrigno on there. They had the 4th. Yeah, Lou Ferrigno was playing an Orion. How cool is that? So he was painted in green
great.
all over again. It was brilliant. It was so brilliant. I think, personally, I think that's what I like best about Star Trek Continues, besides the family feel and the people and the crew. But what I like best about the production is the writing. They're smart. They get Star Trek. It feels like a continuation of the original series.
It really does.
So things like that, where you have Lou Ferrigno painted green again as an angry Orion guy. I mean, it's perfect. It's brilliant. They had the 4th Doctor, Tom Baker, recently as well. I don't know which Doctor. I don't watch Doctor Who.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
guys.
Adrienne Wilkinson was in it also. She was in it also.
She's the lead actress in Renegades, so that's cool. She played Xena's daughter in Xena, Warrior Princess.
I think towards the end of the series.
Don't say you think. You watched every episode.
Okay. Episode number Renee.
Yeah, Gigi Edgley.
Gigi Edgley was great. She was from Farscape. If any of you've seen Farscape,
Yeah.
I didn't really see it. I don't know the character's name, but she was like painted
Shiana.
white or something. What is it?
Yeah.
Shiana, painted
Shiana.
blue.
Zon, the
White
plant
hair.
lady. She was a plant.
Very
I can't
spiked
keep
down hair and
Yeah.
stuff like
She was kind of blue.
She's really cool. She was in that. She's in a few things coming up. I'd love to cast her in something. She's also sassy.
that. She's a sweet lady.
Sassy
Sassy.
lady.
Any other questions, answers, concerns, thoughts,
Throw out
Insults.
insults?
that Doug Drexler was in the pilot of Star Trek Continues.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. He's an homage to the show that Gene Roddenberry did before Star Trek. It's a Western. He played that character. He
Wagon
also
Train to
did-
the Stars.
Yep.
Is
Yeah.
that what-
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Actually, that reminds me, Larry Nemechek, who's out there
Yeah.
right now, he played Bones in the first couple episodes, 2 or 3 episodes, and so he and I are forever connected because in the second episode when I was a Tellarite, he was also a Tellarite, so we always call each other our porcine brothers, or we're like forever linked for having that prosthetic makeup and snorting around, trying to grab an Orion girl or something or whatever it was.
But you were snorting around while you were doing it.
We were doing stuff. We were being Tellarites, what Tellarites do, and looking in the mirror and going, okay, I'm really, really
A
ugly
Tellarite.
and weird. I gotta start acting like it,
Right. It's the weirdest feeling and look when you're wearing this stuff and you actually look at yourself in the mirror. It's pretty freaking surreal. it's, you know, especially if you don't do it a lot, it's just like, wow, you look, it's crazy. It's a great feeling, but it's just very surreal.
I just feel bad for the people that did that, you know, before 10 years ago, where they just like have this amazing makeup on, and they're just in these prosthetics, and they're watching the makeup get on, you know, deeper and deeper and better, and they don't have camera phones to take these pictures.
Yeah.
Like they're just coming home going, "Sweetie, you should have seen it. It was really cool." Like, nowadays we can just, you know, point the
Flex
film. It's just
selfie.
awesome, you know, so you can record it all. But I did want somebody did say something that reminded me actually. J.J. Abrams, by the way, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's directed a couple movies, and I just want to point out something about him. You know, a lot of people like his style, a lot of people don't, but what I will say is on set, he's very enthusiastic, he's very childlike. He's like exactly what you would imagine when a 7-year-old boy is playing with his toys, and he's saying, one day I want to be a director so that these toys are people and these stories in my head are going to be, you know, that's how he is. You know, he's just got his baseball cap on, he's got exuberance and excitement, and he's like, wow, that's so cool. And that's, you know, he's like, part of him never had to grow up because he was really good at what he did, and he was focused, probably very talented. And, you know, kudos to him that he didn't necessarily have to grow up. You know, and some people are like singers. They didn't have to fully grow up. They could just sing and have fun and get paid for it. Some of them are, you know, soccer players, basketball players, you know, things that they did that for fun as a kid, they figured out a way to get paid for it, and now it doesn't feel like they're working a day in their life. And he's one of those people that, like, you could just tell, like, he's excited to go to work every day. Kind of like you, Rico.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. When you can, yeah, I mean, look, when you can do something that you love, it's, you know, that old saying, and it doesn't really feel like work. It just feels like you're about to go play in the sandbox. Piggybacking off of that, J.J. Abrams' overall excitement when working with Leonard Nimoy was very, very adamant. Yeah. On the 2009 film, when Spock goes back in time, and
What?
I know. They've never covered time travel in Star Trek before until they did that. But we worked on the day. We all saw 2009 Star Trek. Everybody? Okay. So the end when Kirk is like off the hook and he's shaking the Admiral's hand, and you know the camera pans up and you see Spock and he's like full thrusters. Is it full thrusters there? One of those.
We don't have it memorized.
Well, you should. And so it was the day that we shot that, and we were down in the area where the trial was happening, and JJ just kind of stopped the whole production. He's like, "Hey, everybody, I just need to say this. I'm really excited."
And there were like 100
because
people or something.
there were a ton of people there, yeah, and he was just like, "I really want to share this with you guys because I'm just so excited. I grew up watching this guy, big fan. I was so excited to have him on set." And he said, "If you guys just look up in the balcony, we have Mr. Leonard Nimoy." And it was so cool because everybody just clapped. We stood up, standing ovation. He waved to us, and then he gave us one of these bad boys, and people just lost their ish. So but just the enthusiasm of him mentioning it, introducing him. He was like a major kid in the candy store that day, just having it, and it was a great experience to be a part of. Never met Mr. Nimoy, unfortunately, but damn, that's a great close. Actually, it's not. It was great. It was close as I did meet him, but it was a great experience nonetheless. Met his son though. Who's really cool. So, Adam, yeah, cool. So,
All right. One last question.
yes.
I ask everybody this. Is there any particular role or type of character you'd like to play that you haven't done yet? Anything you'd like to pursue in the future that's a little different?
I'd love to play in a Western. And in essence, I kind of did with Runaway.
Hey, Will Smith could do it.
Right, exactly. Well, shoot, I can do it too. So, no, I would love to. I would love to play it in a you know,
Go
actual
steampunk.
Western. Not even steampunk. I would actually, I mean,
A real Western.
no, which is fun, and I actually really enjoy doing it. But I would love to be in a real Western, representing black cowboys. You know, I mean, they were there, and
I've read
there's
about
not enough.
big culture.
Well, yeah, there's not enough of that representation out
Yeah,
there, and
absolutely.
I would love to. Little known fact: the original, the Lone Ranger was actually based off of
Yes.
a black cowboy.
Yes.
So, a little something to take away with it on
Good.
that. But yeah, I would love to play cowboy.
Fantastic.
Ryan T.
All right.
I'd love to play a white cowboy.
Or an English cowboy.
Actually, I hadn't thought of that. A Western would be really cool. I've never worked in a Western, but I love.
So you work
I
together?
love Tombstone. Tombstone's a great
Right
one.
on.
Actually, I may be producing one. It's kind of going to be a supernatural
Am I gonna be in
Western.
it?
Possibly.
Probably not.
The group that produced Blade of Honor, it's one of the trailers that we
Louis
didn't get to.
L'Amour, Haunted Mesa.
Yep.
I don't know, look that up. It's very
My grandmother actually loved those stories. Yeah, I remember
Fantastic.
those. Yeah, she used to have books. So Louis Lamont.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
book
Haunted
series.
Mesa. Louis
So,
L'Amour. Very
but-
sci-fi.
Beyond that, I always kind of wanted to be the wacky neighbor, like the Kramer character, you know. But I kind of get typecast, you know, like I play the bad guy a lot, or the love interest, or a police officer, or a Starfleet, or a detective, and I just want to be the.
Festus.
I want to be the Kramer or the Urkel or the
Yeah. Festus.
what was his name, Larry on Three's Company, you
The
know.
female love interest. I
I've
can
done
totally
that.
see it.
I've done it.
You got the links.
All right, guys.
Yeah, all right. Good
Plug you
job.
out on that note. If you haven't, look them up on IMDb. Check out all their projects. Seriously, great work, guys.
Back to our table, say hi.
Come back to the table, say hi. Personal plug. I just launched my website, ricoanderson.com.
Good.
And follow us on
All
social
Western.
media. We're everywhere.
They are everywhere.
All
Right,
right.
thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Good job.